She want me to stop at Chick-fil-A so she can use the bathroom. I say, well, we can go, because we late and I got to get some gas. You can go, I'm going to a new gas station. You can go use the restroom. She throws a fit because I won't make a extra stop so she can go use whatever bathroom she wants to use. Forget that you making me late. Forget that I got to get gas and I can say we can do one stop. No, she made that a big issue. And guess what the women did? That's your lady. You supposed to stop and do, you supposed to take her to a nice, pretty bathroom. I said, oh, so these women narcissistic. If you think that somebody is the stronger person, since you look at me as a man, because these women are not looking at me as a woman, because the way I carry myself, the way I speak, my assertiveness, these women look at me as a man. So they treat me like one.
Right.
So in their mind, I was supposed to bend over backwards and take her to a special a special place to use the bathroom. To hell with me making a logical decision to do a one-stop shop so we can get on the road. I was the villain then. You're a narcissist. You're a narcissist. Why didn't you take your girlfriend to go use that bathroom? Wow. I said, so this is what they dealing with?
Yes.
This?
Yes.
I said, I'm not getting no relationship to be no doggone slave and to cater to no egos, because women, we supposed to be working together. We supposed to be carrying an equal load.
It's very interesting. I did a video last year, and last year, whilst I was in Ghana, actually, last year specifically, and I spoke about Queenmaker, Princella, and I said she has an informed, traumatic view when it comes to men. And the way she talks about men tells me it is misinformed and it's due to her trauma. And I have people in the comment section from her side of the internet who are telling me that I'm one of those men, I'm one of those men that don't understand, you know, and words probably thrown in there as well, and probably an abuser whilst I'm there as well. Whilst I was trying to explain that when people explain things from a particular perspective, men or women, just like Andrew Tate, just like Kevin Samuels, just like Princella, just like when I'm talking about this, when you're so filled with vitriol for the opposite sex, you are coming from a traumatic aspect when you are describing that particular gender or sex, whatever you want to call it, right? And what I saw with Princella last year was the way that she talked about her relationships with men, or how she had seen men in relationships and how she spoke about them. It was parasitical. It's like, these men are so parasitical, these men are so evil, these men are so wicked. Now you are in a position of playing the man role, as you saw her body language and the way that she spoke and the way she sat, very much in the masculine, and having to be the masculine role in the relationship with a woman who's feminine, right? Suddenly that woman's manipulative. Suddenly that woman who doing those things is now somebody who doesn't respect your logic. And suddenly now women are not as great as they were before. Oh no, I was just exposing the male nature. So now I'm just going to expose the female nature. So why didn't you do it before? Whilst you were there exposing the male nature in such a way that was, I'm not complaining about the exposure. The exposure needed to happen. And actually, a lot of things she said was very true. What I'm saying is, when you spoke about it, you didn't speak about it in balance. You didn't speak about it in nuance. You spoke about it like we all were doing these kind of things, right? And I said about that, that's when people have an unbalanced message, when they cloak everybody alongside it. Now, what do you want me to do? Now you want to side with the man then because you are experiencing the same things that the man them experiencing in relationships that are not positive or not affirming or that are not loving or they're not caring from women to men. Now you want me to see that, right? And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with you changing your mind. What I'm saying is, this is why I said in the last year that it's not even pandering, because in some sense, I mean, you can call it pandering, but in some sense, she truly believes this. She's not trying to deceive the audience. She truly believed that at the time because it was a trauma-informed decision and the way she spoke about men. And so now she's having to do a U-turn. But that's not all the truth, because it seems like when you were dealing with B. Taylor, you were doing the exact same thing that the men were doing, that you were accusing the men of being, which is that you were now talking, behaving in the most manners that was not necessarily, how I say, nice to do.
You all will never, ever get along with people, because what you do to everybody is you create an idea about a person, and there's nothing that can convince you, because you don't seek understanding. You want people to be what you want them to be, and you judge them based off of your feelings. You actually don't judge them with any righteous judgment. You don't judge people with righteous judgment. You judge people off of your feelings.
Now, just to let you know, this was a live that happened, I think, last year when she actually had broken up with B. Taylor, her partner, who obviously accused her of being manipulative and you know, generally just like not a nice person in a relationship, right? Behaving like the men that she talked about, right? And so this was a lie that she did. And she did 1 or 2 lies after this, and you could tell there was bitterness there, there was anger there, there was frustration there, and she was behaving just like the men that she was calling out. What am I really saying? What I'm really saying is that whenever you see people that don't know how to hold some level of balance, what I mean by that is they are always on one side. They can never see the other side. That the other side is always wicked, always mean. They're always fear-mongering you with the way that they talk about the opposite side. Just know there is bitterness and anger and hurt and unforgiveness, and there's a lack of healing in those areas, because nobody should be so angry at one side only without there being some type of trauma that's hitting that place, right? Which means, you know, you've been hurt by something, and it's not to be rude about it. Men are very much hurt too. That's why I talk about the red pill community. They are hurt individuals, a lot of them, and they're seeking for a place to have refuge from that pain, but they find other people that are going to fuel their madness. It's why I never really support Kevin Samuels. I never supported him because it was some of the stuff was just cruel and vitriol. I don't support people that are going to try and hurt the other side and call it, I'm just trying to be truthful. We can't support that kind of language or that kind of behavior. So for me personally, with Princella, I talked about this last year when she did her live, especially on Hardly Initiated. I remember I spoke about this kind of stuff, right? About some of her behaviors, okay? And I told her it wasn't right. In fact, I can even show you. Take advantage of the privilege and become destructive. And I said this before, if women had the power, they'd be the exact same way. Right? They'd be the exact same way. Because in reality, the problem isn't the fact that I'm a man. The problem is I am human and I have sin in me. That's what makes me perpetually want to do things that are against the nature of man and God. Do you get what I'm saying to you? So when she said that point, I was a little bit like, whoa, where are we going with this particular part? But let me come back onto my original point. Sorry, I kind of digressed a little bit. So the household situation, again, like I said, I definitely... So when I was explaining that point, what I was talking about was Priscilla was making it out that men are just naturally acclimatized to being wicked and evil. And I was saying, it's not a man thing. It's a man and a woman thing. The only difference is a woman hasn't got the power that a man has. Now she got the power. Look what she do with it. Oh, suddenly she's trashing women. You know what I mean? Like once you got power now that you are in a driving seat, the beep, beep, now you were the one that they're accusing of being manipulative. Now they're the one accusing you of being narcissistic. And that's to say that not all men are trying to be, not all men are bad people. Not all men are doing nasty things. Not all men are doing, abusing women or doing these kind of things to women. There's a lot of men who are really not like that. But there are a few that are tarnishing it for the rest. And how easy it is for a man to incorrectly use his power and be domineering, and abusive almost with that power. And yet now, sis, when you are in that position of power, look what you're doing with it. Now you're talking about how the sisterhood needs to, the sisterhood, they're in their feminine bad, but their emotions lead them and they're judgmental by their emotions. Oh, what? Because it serves you now. Now, of course, she's not out here doing anything heinous, and I'm not going to compare her to an abusive man. But what I'm saying is, suddenly now, what you understand? Suddenly now you understand that women are wicked too, and they're not as good and angelic as you thought they were. You should have had it before, right? So just dragging men through the mud like they did. That was my only issue that I had with Princella. To be honest, like I said, it's growth, and I knew that she was hurt. So if you go and watch that breakdown I did about 4 hours. About 5 hour video, about an hour video I did on Hardly Initiated. You also see that I broke down some of that stuff as well and talked about it. But anyway, let me know your thoughts down below. Maybe you guys agree, disagree. I don't know. Let me know down below. Like, share, subscribe, click on that bell button for notification of uploads. We appreciate you guys. Lots of it.